Hello everybody and welcome back to Doc G's Reloading. Today I'm going to show you how I clean my semi-automatic pistols. Now, I equate cleaning to filling primer tubes. It's something I absolutely hate to do. So I've kind of found some shortcuts over the years that work perfectly for me, and I've never had a malfunction with any gun I've ever shot because of a cleaning issue. So I just wanted to show you how I do it. We're going to walk through it today. I'm not actually cleaning it, but I'll show you what I do to kind of speed things up. All right, so most importantly, our protective equipment. I am wearing gloves because these are organic solvents. These will absorb through the skin. You don't want to do this without gloves on. Honestly, please don't. As a medical professional, I want to keep everyone safe and just use gloves when you're using any kind of solvent like this, especially. I have a apron on here, which is more of a jacket. Because of the splatter, and of course, most importantly, the number one most important piece of safety equipment in a gun shop are safety glasses that I always wear. And even though I'm not going to be using the solvents today, I am going to put the safety glasses on just as habit. Okay, so the most important thing, number one, is to have your manual available for your gun. This will tell you not only how to dismantle it, but it'll also tell you where you want to put lube and where you shouldn't put lube. Spoiler alert here, I do not use lube at all on a gun of any kind. The only thing I do is I put grease on my bolt of my bolt action precision rifle. That's it. And I only put it on a small portion of the back side of the bolt that engages the chamber. So I do have some products here though that you can use if you really need to use them. Now, I shoot the blue bullets. I shoot the 147 grain 9mm. So I'm not worried about any copper fouling. Some people do shoot berries and other kinds of bullets that are copper plated or full metal jacketed. Those could cause some copper fouling. I use exclusively Hoppe's number 9, and you can see that here. I put that in this is Hoppe's number 9 right here. You can also get this, this is a Montana Extreme copper remover. This is a good copper remover if you need something like that. Barnes also makes a copper solvent, BARNES. They make a copper solvent. You are also going to need patches that are appropriate for the caliber. There are loop style holders for patches. I like these. These are much better. These are caliber specific for putting your patch through your barrel when you're going into that cleaning phase. Now the brushes here, there are the standard brass brush that you get most of the time with the gun sometimes, the nylon version, and then these are a different style altogether. These are called the tornado style. They don't have any sharp edges on them. If you're worried about marring your muzzle or something, I do like these. I pretty much use these exclusively just because I've gotten used to using them through rifle. But this is a great brush. I really wouldn't use the nylon brush. Not a big fan of the nylon brush. When I examine the barrel afterwards with nylon, it almost always seems like there's leftover gunk in there. With these two style of brushes, I've never had any problem. So you also need something to hold the brush, and this is a good Hoppe's gun cleaning rod, and it's got a nice ball bearing handle to it. And then you're going to need a brush and plenty of Q-tips. Now the first thing I do is, of course, make the gun safe. So take out the magazine, lock back the slide, visually inspect and feel, make sure that there's nothing in there at all. Let it go forward, click it, and then you can disassemble it. Now mine disassembles. This is Smith & Wesson M&P. So if you have an M&P, you know how these things disassemble. It's pretty straightforward. Separates into your lower spring, your slide, and your barrel, and that's it. Now what I do is I start off with the barrel, and I would take my finger, put it over the end here, I pour some solvent in there, I get it here, I roll it around a little bit, and then I kind of just set it aside to soak for a little bit. From there, I take this solvent, I put it on the brush, and I hit the bolt face, and get that all clean, and I get the slide grooves here on the side, which are very important, and I get this any surface here back here on the back part of the slide that shows that it has gunpowder on it or is dirty. I clean it. I do not pour solvent over this area. I put it on the brush. and I brush it down this way, away from all this mechanism up here, to make sure I don't get it in there. And then I just wipe it down with a brush. Wipe it down with a cloth just to get all of the gunpowder off. And then I look for anywhere there might be other fouling. Sometimes if you have a ported barrel, you'll get some fouling up here. I do not have a ported barrel on this, so it's very, very simple and easy. And that cleans your slide. You're done. The bottom here, your lower, takes a lot more effort. I take these lots of Q-tips and I soak them in the Hoppies number 9, and then I just go about getting in here and getting everything clean. I will also take a cloth, and I'll get in there with a cloth and clean it. Try to clean off all the surfaces that have any kind of visual gummed up area of powder, and you can usually easily see that. And then I wipe everything down with a clean cloth to get all the solvent off, and that's it. Now with the barrel, this is where I take, I'm going to just use this brush today, but so this is standard brush. I take this. Now this this has been soaking. What I like to do first is just clean off the chamber side here and the ramp, feed ramp. So I clean that really well, get all that cleaned off and scrubbed, and so there's no more gunpowder residue on it. Then I take this and I will soak this with some, so the barrel's already got some hoppies in it. And then I put this in here and I pour the hoppies on it. And then I go back and forth. So yes, I go one way and then the other. And that's 1, that's 2. And I will do that at least 10 times back and forth with adding solvent on occasion. Usually every other one I'll add more solvent, and I keep going back and forth and back and forth. Some people swear that you should go only from the chamber side out. I don't agree. This is only accurate out to not even 50 yards. I mean, I think I had one event where it was a 50-yard shot. Other than that, you're never going to be shooting that far. The other place I like to get here is the Recoil Lug up here. So I clean that, make sure that there's no built up powder residue there. Sometimes you will get some residue there. And then I run the patches. So I take this jag here and I put that on there, and then I take the appropriately sized patch, and I'm going to try and make this video quick so you don't spend a lot of time watching this here. And then I put that through, and I just run them through. So I just run them through and look for the dirt, and then I'll moisten them up, and I'll keep running them through until these patches come out perfectly clean. Then once that's all done, I take a look down the barrel and make sure there's no obvious fouling in there. You can usually see easily with even just a light that I'm getting now off the back of this towel. I can see if there's any fouling in there. It looks like there's a little bit extra in there, so I could go through again with the brush and again with this with the jag. I use a lot of patches, a lot of jag work, and a lot of hoppies with it, because I will run at least 5 soaked with hoppies through after I brushed, and then I'll run another 3 to 5 until they come out clean on the other end without solvent on them. And then, considering this is one of the most important parts of the gun, it's then clean and you're done. Like I said, the lower takes a lot more effort, but I take Q-tips and I soak them in the solvent, and I just go around and get, especially these surfaces here where the slide is moving on the frame, and I clean those areas very, very well. So here, there's one here, one here, one here, one here. I clean all 4 of those very, very well, and then I get into all of the nooks and crannies up here and some of this other metal area that can accumulate powder residue, and I get all that cleaned off, and you can see you get quite a bit of residue on there. And I go through lots of Q-tips. So lots of Q-tips and lots of patches are my cleaning method. And then that's it. You're done. And then what I do is I just go ahead and reassemble. So everything's been wiped down and clean. Everything's dry. I don't have any wet solvents in anything. Now, if you absolutely have to use a lube, this is what I use. I use the gun butter. And again, it has a little tiny needle type applicator there with a little cap on it. Now I will take this and I will run some, you can run it here on the frame, on the 4 contact points if you want to, or sometimes you can just put a couple drops on each side of the slide where those notches mate with that. And then that's the only place I would ever put oil on a semi-auto gun. Really nothing else needs oil at all. In my experience, again, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just saying this has worked for me for a long, long time. And again, I've never had any problems with it. And then reassembly for me is easy. And then if I did put oil on there, did put the lube, I'm going to work the lube back and forth just to make sure that it gets on the slide surface as much as possible. Anything else I wipe down, and that's pretty much it. I keep it simple and easy for cleaning. Again, either one of these two brushes are more than enough. And again, I don't see a problem with brushing from the bore to the muzzle and the muzzle back to the bore. You can just go back and forth, and I usually do that at least 10 times and then run wet patches through and then run a dry patch or two through to make sure that it's not dirty. Then I'll visually inspect and then go from there. And then the wire brush is great for any surface that you need to get powder off of. Again, I try to keep it simple and easy. If you have any questions about how I do it or why I do it, gun cleaning like this, or if you have any comments on how you approach it and how that might be better, that's great. I always like to learn from people. This is how I do it, and like I said, it keeps cleaning time down because I hate cleaning guns and I hate filling primer tubes. So if I'm not doing either one of those two things, then I'm out shooting or reloading and getting stuff ready for the range. Thanks again for watching Doc G's Reloading. I appreciate all your comments. Thank you.